With the exception of the palms and soles, these sebaceous glands are found on all parts of the body, particularly in the face and scalp, where they are larger. Ordinarily, sebum flows through the oil ducts leading to the mouths of the hair follicle. However, when the sebum hardens and the duct becomes clogged, a blackhead is formed. There's a lot of functions of the skin. We kind of thought it was to put makeup on and get in the tan in bed with and all that. But that's not even the major function of the skin. Skin is on us for protection. What does it protect?
Our insides.
The what? The body. The insides. How does it protect? We know we've got the skeletal system there protecting some of our major internal organs. So how does the skin protect our body?
Invasion of bacteria.
The invasion of bacteria. Viruses and all that. That's why if you listen, sometime you hear about people being burned badly, but the burns seem to be coming along, and all of a sudden they die. And most of the time it's from something like pneumonia or something else, and it's where the protective coating was no longer there to keep those things out. That is our best defense as hairdressers against disease, too, is unbroken skin. And it's one of the hardest things for us to have because we nip ourselves, we stick brush bristles in our fingers, we keep our hands in water, which destroys part of our protective covering. Another function of the skin is sensation. By stimulating sensory nerve endings, the skin responds to heat, cold, touch, pressure, and pain. When the nerve endings are stimulated, a message is sent to the brain. You respond by saying ouch if you feel pain, by scratching if you have an itch, or by pulling away when you touch something hot. Sensory nerve endings are located near hair follicles. Heat regulation. This means that the skin protects the body from the environment. A healthy body maintains a constant internal temperature of 98.6. As changes occur in the outside temperature, the blood and sweat glands of the skin make necessary adjustments to our body to be cooled by the evaporation of sweat, thus keeping us at that temperature. Another function of the skin is excretion. Perspiration from the sweat glands is excreted through the skin. Water lost through perspiration takes salt and other chemicals with it. Does it help get rid of waste products of the body? Sweat? Sure does. Is that important? That is vitally important. Secretion. Sebum or oil is secreted by the sebaceous gland. This oil lubricates the skin, keeping it soft and pliable. Oil also keeps hair soft. Emotional stress can increase the flow of sebum. When do you think is the time in our lives that sebaceous glands are greatly out of whack?
Menopause.
Think menopause? She was talking about it yesterday, but it's not the greatest time in our life. When is the most change occur?
It's like turning into a teenager.
Right, puberty, as we begin to go from a child to an adult. And that's why you see acne and also much more prevalent during that age. And it's caused from overactivity of the sebaceous glands, and hormonal changes and all that have a big effect. Absorption, and this means things going through our skin. We know that when we put cream on our hands or legs, face, whatever, we can feel a difference in the skin, but we don't realize that certain substances can be absorbed into the skin because we think of it as a protective barrier. Very little can be absorbed, but it does have a degree of absorption. Absorption is limited but does occur. Female hormones, when used as an ingredient of a face cream, can enter the body through the skin and influence it to a minor degree. Thus, my statement a while ago, nothing is as good as the natural sebum because it doesn't have to go in, it's coming out. Fatty materials such as lanolin creams are absorbed largely through hair follicles and sebaceous gland openings. So aging of the skin is the process that takes many years and can be influenced by many different factors. One does not necessarily age as one's parents have. Many outside factors like the sun, the environment, health habits, and general lifestyle influence aging to a great extent that heredity has little to do with. How many of you can think back, and probably more so with your grandmothers maybe than your mothers, and when they were at the age that you are now, you think they were older than what you are? You understand what I'm saying? I think about the age I am now was the age Miss Braswell was when Fred and I got married, and Lord, it seemed like she was ancient. I'm thinking, you know, we're talking about the same number here. Why do you suppose the aging is different for generations?
Everything's changed.
Well, it's changed, all right.
When they were our age, they were, yeah, in the field somewhere, working.
You think that had a lot to do with it, the working outside,
The way they live.
the way they live? The what's come along?
More things have come along. I mean, it's common now for a woman to smoke and drink and that kind of thing. And back then,
But you would think that would be worse. Worse on the skin. Smoking and drinking both are skin destroyers.
Also, it's the chemicals that we use on products.
You think we have better products than all now to take care of the skin. We saw one of them yesterday, microdermabrasion. And I think we're out more, meaning we do more things that make us not seem quite so old. What was it, in some year, 47 was the general lifespan of the population. You know, it hadn't been all that many years ago. And medicines, so many things have changed. Technology. The sun and its effects, and this is another thing, now this is where they were one up on us, because when they went out in that field to work, which was in the sun, they put on a hat and they put on long sleeve shirts. And we think the more clothes we take off, the cooler we'll get when we get hot. Actually, they were wise, because what happened, the sweat glands work, the clothes become wet, and then the least little breeze, they were really cooled. You know, they didn't have all this damage like we have either. Didn't have our pretty tans either. So the sun and its ultraviolet rays have the greatest impact on how our skin ages. Approximately 80 to 85% of our aging is caused by the rays of the sun. As we age, the collagen and elastin fibers of the skin naturally weaken. This weakening happens at a much faster rate when the skin is frequently exposed to ultraviolet rays without proper protection. The UV rays of the sun reach the skin in two different forms, as UVA and UVB rays. Each of the rays influences the skin at a different level. UVA rays, also called the aging rays, contribute to 90 to 95% of the sun's ultraviolet rays that reach the surface of the earth. These rays weaken the collagen and elastin fibers, causing wrinkling and sagging in the tissues. The UVB rays are called the burning rays. They cause tanning of the skin by affecting the melanocytes, which are the cells of the epidermis that are responsible for producing our melanin. Melanin is designed to help protect the skin from the sun's UV rays, but can be altered or destroyed when large frequent doses of UV light are allowed to penetrate. Although UVB penetration is not as deep as UVA, these rays are equally damaging to the skin and can damage the eyes as well. So we want to wear sunglasses. On a positive note, UVB rays contribute to the body's synthesis of vitamin D and other important minerals. As a result, to your clients, it is appropriate that you advise them about the necessary precautions to take when they're exposed to the sun. Where are one of the most common places to find a tanning bed now? In the beauty shop. And we sell them this, what do you call it? To boost it up? Accelerators. So they get more benefits from it. They also getting some more aging from it, aren't they, as we do that. As a consultant to your client, you need to advise them about the necessary precautions to take when they're exposed to the sun. Wear a moisturizer or protective lotion with a sunscreen of at least SPF 15 on all areas of the potential exposure. Avoid being in the sun from 10 to 3. That's when you're getting more of the direct rays. That's when we usually do it, isn't it? That's when it's fun to get out there. Apply sunscreen liberally after swimming or other activities that result in heavy perspiration. Better yet, sunscreen should be applied periodically throughout the day just as a precaution. All sunscreen used for protection should be full or broad spectrum to filter out UVA and UVB rays. When we first got to hearing about SPFs, the companies just had it to protect from one type of the rays. And the dermatologist finally stepped in and said, look, this is not going to work. You know, we're not selling this. This is giving them a false sense of security. You got to give them something, UVA and UVB protectant. Also check your expiration dates. This is important, kind of like food. If the expiration date's out, you don't want to be eating it. If the expiration date is out on your SPF lotion, don't be using it because, again, you think you're protected, but you're not. Avoid exposing children younger than 6 months of age to the sun. If prone to burning frequently and easily, wear a hat and protective clothing. Redheads are particularly susceptible to sun damage. In addition to following these precautions, clients should be advised to regularly see a physician specializing in dermatology for checkups of the skin, especially if any changes in coloration, size, or shape of a mole are detected. Some home self-examination is an effective way for potential skin cancer. When performing a self-care exam, clients should be advised to check for any changes in existing moles and pay attention to any visible growths on the skin. While the sun may play the major role on how the skin ages, changes in our environment also greatly influence the aging process. Pollutants in the air from factories, automobile exhaust, and even secondhand smoke can influence the appearance of the skin and the health of the skin. While these pollutants affect the surface appearance of the skin, they can also change the health of the underlying cells and tissues. So we age even faster. The best defense against these pollutants is the simplest one. Follow a good daily skincare routine. That first means cleansing the skin properly. Routine washing and exfoliating or removing dead surface skin cells at night helps to remove the buildup of pollutants that have settled on the skin surface. The application of moisturizers, protective lotions, and even our foundation products all help to protect the skin from airborne pollutants. How many of you know if your foundation has an SPF factor in it? If you use foundation and don't know, check on it.